everyone, and welcome to FabCon TV. I'm here with Arun, Ulag, and Amir, Netz. Welcome to, this is our first episode. This is like our pilot episode.
Wow. I'm so excited.
Yeah. We're in Vienna, fresh off the Keynote. Tell me, Arun, what was your highlight of the Keynote? What just got your energy pumping?
Well, I think it was your presentation, Patrick. But no, seriously.
Yeah, seriously.
Except for your presentation.
Seriously.
You know? But it's just exciting to see all the innovation that we're bringing to Fabric.
Yes.
We couldn't complete the Keynote. Like, it was just so much stuff that we had to pack in. So Amir had to cut and cut and cut, so we could just bring,
We could just be 10 minutes late.
That's true. But it's also exciting to see how much Fabric has matured, how quickly it's growing. 25,000 customers, 80% of the Fortune 500.
Wow.
This thing is just growing like crazy. And you can see that in the customer conversations, in the community reactions. So it's just been so exciting.
Yeah, so Amir, we went through feature after feature after amazing feature. And so I was watching the graph one.
Yeah.
And how do you think the graph is going to transform the way people, customers and organizations find out connections and link connections, using the graph?
Yeah, I think the graph is going to be one of the most fundamental enhancements we have in Fabric in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
It really allows people to go and explore the data, understand relationships that they couldn't see before. Like the SQL language is great if you're just trying to do transaction, orders, order lines, customers, products. That's easy. You can do it with the tables that you have in the SQL database. But if you really want to model the world and understand relationships, then you want to understand the relationship between people. You understand the relationship between machines and production lines and factories. You want to, real world modeling cannot be done with simple tables. It's very hard to do with simple tables.
Yes.
And so I think that as we're trying to go and capture the entirety of the richness of the real world, graph is going to play a very central role.
Yeah, it's just going to change the way we do things. So, Arun, we're heading to Atlanta.
We are.
And Barcelona, and we're coming back to Europe. If I'm a customer, if I'm a person that, this is they're thinking about, they're on the edge of trying to decide, should I attend those? What would you tell them?
You should attend.
You should attend.
But here's why.
Here's why.
Because, look, the world is changing very quickly.
Yeah.
Fabric is one of the largest investments that Microsoft is making.
Yeah.
We have literally thousands and thousands and thousands of engineers who are constantly building Fabric. As you know, Patrick, there's a new release of Fabric every single week.
Every week.
So there's so much to learn. For us to be competitive in the world of AI, we've got to learn, we've got to jump in. And guess what? FabCon in Atlanta, that's coming up next, is the place to be. Because we're going to do the same thing. We're going to bring hundreds and hundreds of the developers, architects, product managers, designers who are building Fabric right there to meet with the community members, to meet with our customers, to tell them, what are we building? Why are we building it? But it's also an opportunity to hear from customers. How have they implemented Fabric? What is the success that they're saying? What architectural patterns are they following? So, I would highly, highly recommend it.
So, Amir, Arun talked about, customers and the architectural patterns. What are we seeing? What type of deployments? What's the common things we're seeing people do with Fabric?
So I think that we're seeing quite a few. First of all, there's a classic Power BI that people are doing, but now they're enriching it. They're uploading the data into OneLake through the lake houses. They're using their professional ETL tools that they have. They're building direct lake models. So this is kind of something that, Power BI had already established pattern, but it's a complete refresh of those.
Yes.
Then you see the entirety of the data engineering, data science. That's a beautiful, amazing environment that you can go and build Python notebooks and really do all the deep analytics and data processing in a high-scale environment. We're seeing the data warehouse really starting to take off.
Yes.
It is the most modern data warehouse on the planet right now, really designed from the ground up for MPP, unlimited scale, and we're seeing customers now migrating in droves from the environment that they were there, had before into the new SaaS-based data warehouse. Real-time intelligence. Wow, that's a rocket ship.
Yes.
Absolutely rocket ship. And this is a thing, one of the most revolutionary things we've done in Fabric is we took the real-time stack, which is super complex in virtually any other platform, and we simplified. We call it SaaSified it, right? Software as a service. Super, super easy to create, to build, to integrate, and we're seeing the adoption just across the board. It's a major, major hit. And I think that the things that we're going to start seeing now, they're really the translytical. You did a demo on the translytical, but really the databases in Fabric are starting to catch on fire. They're not GA yet, so we know that we're going to see the real bump after we GA it in a couple of months. But boy, It's so exciting to see the world of analytics and the world of transactions coming together.
So I agree with everything Amir said, and I'm going to add on, Patrick.
Okay.
Amir talked about all the wonderful things happening in Fabric.
Yeah.
However, in addition to Fabric, customers are implementing AI workloads. They're using AI Foundry. They're using Copilot Studio. And as they build these AI applications, it needs to be grounded in data. And Fabric is the data platform for Microsoft that's built into Foundry, that's built into Copilot Studio. So these things compose really well because eventually customers deeply care about business value. And there's no business value in AI without data. So I would really think about Foundry and Fabric as two sides of the same coin.
But so the data is the foundation, AI is there. What about security and governance?
Huge, critically important. And this is where I would say Fabric has a massive advantage. Because here's how you think about it. Fabric as a data platform has top-notch security capabilities, row-level security, column-level security, dynamic data masking, permissions-based access, network security, data protection. The list goes on and on. Right? However, in addition to these data platform security capabilities, Fabric has something else that nobody else has, which is the ability to connect to business users. Business users who are in Power BI, business users who are in Excel, in Teams, in PowerPoint, in SharePoint. And Fabric is the only data platform on the planet that has done the heavy lifting to connect the data into the world's business applications. Whether you're using Excel, whether you're using Teams, Power BI, PowerPoint, SharePoint, the OneLake catalog is built in. Fabric permissions are automatically enforced. Information protection labels just flow.
Everywhere.
And why does it matter? It's because eventually all of this data is in the service of business. And to put data in the service of business, you need governance, you need security. Otherwise, people are just running around with Excel files. As much as I love Excel, that's not enterprise data. That's not secure. That's not governed.
You took my next question. I was going to ask you about Office integration. You took it.
There you go. There you go. I knew what you were thinking.
You knew before I said it. So, I mean, I've been using Power BI before Power BI was Power BI, right? I remember this epic presentation that Amir did with the bubbles flying on the screen. It was phenomenal. But think about where we came, where we were, and where we are. But where are we going? Where are we going with Fabric?
So I think that Power BI is a massive success. But the world is changing, and Power BI is changing with it. So just like the way we consume information in the world has changed completely, like just 3 years ago, if you ask somebody, how would you know, given any question, say, well, I go to Google it, and I get 10 blue links, and I click on and go to website, and I read the website, and go to the other one, and eventually I synthesize in my head the data. Today, the patterns are different. Today, the pattern is, I'm just going to go ChatGPT or any other AI, and say, I'm going to ask a question. Let the AI do the searching for me. Let the AI read the website for me, let the AI do the synthesizing the data for me, and then it just saves me tons of time. I think that the world of reports is going to follow a similar pattern. Instead of me going to report after report after report, or sometimes I do that, I love doing that, but sometimes I say, what, I just have a questions. I don't remember where the report is. I don't want to go search, so I just going to ask the question. Let the AI go through the data, through the semantic models, through the visuals we create in the report, let it synthesize and answer the question for me.
Got it.
So this pattern, I think we're going to see more and more and more, and this is really the heart of the AI experience. We call it chat with your data. It's also going to be deeply integrated into M365, the Office applications.
Wow.
Completely agree with Amir, and I'm going to chime in and add one more.
I see a pattern. I see a pattern.
Completely agree with Amir. However, remember, we also brought transactional databases to Fabric.
Absolutely.
Azure SQL is now in Fabric. Right? It's in public preview. Cosmos DB is in Fabric in public preview. So when we brought, the worlds of transactional databases and analytical systems have always been far apart, with lots of data shuttling back and forth. Fabric is the only platform on the planet that unifies it. So you have a single unified data platform. But if you think about this, we've not brought some itsy-bitsy database into Fabric. We've brought the big dogs. We've brought Azure SQL, which is SQL Server. Hundreds and hundreds and thousands of customers, their businesses depend on SQL today. And we brought Cosmos DB, which is the #1 database, according to Bloomberg, right, for Gen AI applications. And guess what? The world runs on Cosmos DB. ChatGPT runs on Cosmos DB. Walmart's e-commerce website runs on Cosmos DB. So it's a massive distributed NoSQL document database. It's in Fabric today. And they will become generally available in the future. And when that happens, you can build end-to-end applications, analytics, real-time, operational data, analytical data, transactional data, all unified in a single end-to-end data platform. incredibly exciting for customers.
Okay, this may be an unfair question. This may be unfair, but we're here, and I don't know when I'm going to have this opportunity again to chat with both of you. There's so many capabilities and features inside of Fabric, so many. And I'm biased because I grew up and started in Power BI. So if you ask me this question, it's an easy answer for me, right? What's your favorite part of Fabric?
Look, I grew like you. I grew up with Power BI, so I love Power BI. But I think the thing that really excites me and is really how Fabric allows me to go and start building professional, large, big data system with the notebooks, with Python. I didn't use to program in Python before Fabric. Okay, and what's really cool about it is Fabric actually taught me Python. With the Copilot, it walked through the phases with me, helped me see how to write it. So I feel so much more upskilled than I used to be with Power BI. And I think it's also the opportunity for many of the Power BI professionals to really take their skills to the next level. Many of them used to be Excel jockeys, and then they got promoted to do Power BI, and then a skill that is in much more demand than just the commodity Excel skill. And now they have the opportunity to go and become data professionals with Python, with data science, with data engineering, and with AI. So I think that's what excites me is really the new horizons that Fabric opens to all those people who came from Power BI.
Okay, Arun?
Well, for me, it's OneLake.
Yeah.
Because OneLake is magical. Because look, data lakes are incredibly important for customers. We all know that.
Yeah.
But they're also messy and complicated.
Yes.
If you look at what a data lake is, it's nothing more than a set of storage accounts provisioned by developers.
Yeah.
But why should it be so complex? I mean, the idea that we had when we started is we all use OneDrive, we might use Google Drive, we might use Dropbox. We never think about cloud storage systems. We never provision, storage accounts. We just use OneDrive, right? And so why should data lakes be any more complicated? And so OneLake is literally the OneDrive for your data. And one of the things that, obviously it provides storage wherever you need, and you can have it in different geographies. But what's really magical about OneLake is that it unifies the world's data without forcing you to migrate it first to Fabric, right?
Yeah.
So shortcuts. You can shortcut to data in other parts of Azure, to data on premises, but data in AWS and data in GCP. It just works. And customers love the fact that we live, Microsoft acknowledges we live in a multi-cloud world, and we want to focus on business value, right? As opposed to just data migration projects that everybody's tired of. So, OneLake for me is really a huge differentiator for Fabric. And then we brought mirroring, and then we brought shortcuts, and we brought shortcut transforms. So just there's a built-in OneLake catalog, there's lineage, there's information protection. For me, OneLake, it makes so many things in Fabric possible.
Okay, I think I'm running out of time, but last question is, what should we expect at FabCon in Atlanta?
You don't want us to spill the beans.
Okay,
If you want to know what's going to happen in Atlanta, you have to come to Atlanta.
That's fair enough. That's fair. Well, thank you both so much for taking time. I know you're busy. You got a lot of things to do here at FabCon, but maybe in Atlanta we'll do this again.
Yeah, look forward to it. So excited to be here, Patrick. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. All right, thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time.
What a great conversation at the Microsoft Fabric Community Conference. Be sure to give this video a like and hit subscribe for more videos coming out of FabCon TV. Also, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you to register for the next FabCon, which will be in Atlanta in March 2026. Come join Patrick, myself, and all of the Microsoft folks. You can see a QR code on the screen right now. Scan that and use code FABATL to get $200 off of the registration. Thank you so much for watching. Keep being awesome, and we'll see you in the next video.